Phoenix, 2025. Shane van Gisbergen crosses the finish line in 30 honest place. 3 weeks later, 34th at Las Vegas. Then, 32nd at Homestead. The commentary was getting louder. This guy simply cannot do ovals. Fast forward to 2026. 6th at Atlanta, 11th at Phoenix, 11th at Martinsville, 14th at Darlington. Same driver, same team, completely different story. And the numbers that just came out are making a lot of people go very quiet. So who exactly is Shane van Gisbergen? Most people call him SVG. He is 36 years old, born in New Zealand, and before he ever set foot in a NASCAR garage, he was already one of the most decorated drivers on the planet. He won 3 championships in the Australian Supercar Series. He accumulated over 80 race wins. He won the legendary Bathurst 1,003 times, one of the most demanding endurance races in the world. He made a top 10 in the WRC on debut and won the 2021 New Zealand Grand Prix from a pit lane start. This is not a guy who stumbles into success. Then in 2023, he came to America for a single NASCAR Cup race. It was the very first race ever held on the Chicago street course, and he won it, his very first Cup start ever. The last time someone won their first Cup race was way back in 1963. Nobody saw it coming. Trackhouse Racing signed him full-time on the spot. His 2025 rookie season in the Cup Series was nothing short of extraordinary. On road courses, he won 5 out of 6 road course races. At Mexico City, he won by over 16 seconds, the biggest winning margin in Cup racing in 15 years. He also took victories at Chicago, Sonoma, Watkins Glen, and the Charlotte Roval. By just his 38th Cup start, he already had 5 wins. The last driver to collect wins that fast was Dan Gurney back in 1968. But every time an oval track appeared on the schedule, things fell apart completely. Phoenix, 30th. Las Vegas, 34th. Homestead, 32nd. SVG didn't hide from it. He said the ovals were the hardest thing he had ever done in racing. He said you have to drive into the corners completely flat out and just trust the car. And at first, he simply couldn't do that. He even said plainly that the driver was the problem. His crew chief, Stephen Doran, was also in just his second Cup season, meaning both of them were learning the same lessons at the same time. SVG still made the playoffs, but only by 2 points. His entire season came down to a 2-point margin. Then came the offseason, and on paper, 2026 looked even harder. NASCAR removed 3 road courses from the schedule: Mexico City, Chicago, and the Charlotte Roval. The exact 3 venues where SVG had been essentially unbeatable. On top of that, NASCAR reverted to the chase for the championship format, eliminating the win and you're in rule. There was no safety net anymore. Points matter every single week. SVG addressed it directly at Daytona 500 Media Day. I didn't join the series to do road courses. Obviously, it's a bonus, and yeah, I would love more road courses than less. But it is what it is, and thankfully, we are getting better on the ovals, so that's good. Most observers expected his 2026 to be a regression. What actually followed was the opposite. Daytona 500 opened the year with promise. SVG ran inside the top 10 before getting collected in a late crash and finishing 30th. Bad luck, not bad driving. Then came Atlanta. At Echo Park Speedway, SVG went through the infield grass twice during the race. Once because Kyle Larson cut across his nose at the stage finish. Larson took full responsibility. Then SVG spun again on his own exiting turn 4. Despite both incidents, he charged back through the field, pitted for fresh tires during a late caution, and crossed the line in 6th place. A new career-best oval finish. That single result jumped him from 28th all the way to 16th in the standings. After the race, SVG called it awesome fun. At COTA, his streak of 5 consecutive road course wins came to an end. Tyler Reddick simply had the faster car. SVG finished second, 3.944 seconds back, and showed genuine respect for the result. I knew I had gotten beaten by somebody better. He was driving really well. Consistent line, accurate through the bundles. It was impressive to watch. That kind of self-awareness matters in a long championship season. Phoenix was chaotic. SVG spun twice off turn 4, causing 2 cautions, but he made 118 green flag passes, the 7th best figure in the entire Cup field that weekend, and finished 11th. That is racecraft. Then Las Vegas hit hard. An aerodynamic quirk sent his car spinning. He damaged the splitter on the apron, and he finished 36th. Last place, dropping back to the playoff bubble. It was deflating, but it was not a driving failure. Darlington told a cleaner story. He finished 14th. At that same track, he went 26th in 2024, then 20th in 2025, and now 14th in 2026. Same track, 3 consecutive years, improving every single time. Martinsville was arguably his most complete oval performance to date. He qualified 5th, his best ever oval starting position. He ran inside the top 10 for virtually the entire race, collecting 6th in Stage 1 and 8th in Stage 2, earning 8 stage points. His team made an aggressive early pit call on lap 268, and he cycled all the way up to 1 place, behind race winner Chase Elliott. Fresh tire cars passed him in the closing laps, and he finished 11th. He was reportedly frustrated about missing the top 10, which speaks directly to how far his standards have risen. Post-race, he said, "It was an awesome day. Starting up front, the racing flows much better and cleaner. Ran in the top 10 all day, but just lacked grip and was weak on restarts. Great progress heading into the off weekend. Bristol brought a setback. A mid-race crash dropped him to 34th, and he now sits just 1 point above the chase cut line, with Chase Briscoe immediately behind him." Now look at the raw data side by side. Through 7 races in 2025, SVG's best oval finish was 23rd. Through the same 7 races in 2026, his best oval finish is 6th. At Phoenix, 31st 11th. At Darlington, 20th 14th. At Martinsville, 34th 11th. At Atlanta, 23rd 6th. NASCAR's own advanced statistics now rate SVG as above average on both drafting tracks and short tracks. Inside Trackhouse Racing, he has finished ahead of teammate Ross Chastain in 5 out of 7 races this season. The same Ross Chastain who has 5 oval wins and a championship 4 appearance to his name. The wider paddock has taken notice. Denny Hamlin said it simply on his podcast, "Elite, superior drivers find a way to adapt." Oh, and he's one of those. Chase Elliott added, "He's got a great feel for natural balance behind the wheel, which I think is a really big deal." Christopher Bell was direct. He's clearly getting the hang of it, and it's not going to be long before he's a factor on an oval. Even Bubba Wallace told Scott McLaughlin at dinner, SVG will win on an oval soon. SVG himself remains grounded. "Man, I'm a long way from that," he said about an oval win. "I know what's going on now, rather than just deer in headlights, but I know I'm still probably a little bit away from a win." The challenge is real and documented. Christopher Bell explained that the current weekend format, 20 minutes of practice, 1 set of tires, has significantly slowed SVG's oval development. Bell said directly, "If he would have done this years ago, where we had hours of practice and multiple sets of tires for practice, I think he would have been a lot further along. NASCAR oval drivers have been racing on these tracks since they were 8 or 9 years old. SVG is compressing decades of muscle memory into a handful of practice laps per weekend. At 36, SVG is squarely inside and NASCAR's prime window. Kyle Larson won the Cup Championship at 33. Denny Hamlin was a title contender at 45. 2 road course events, including Watkins Glen, remain on the 2026 schedule. If SVG wins those and continues banking consistent oval points, a chase qualification is entirely achievable. The trajectory is not a coincidence. It is not a fluke. Race by race, the number 97 Trackhouse Chevrolet is getting harder and harder to ignore on oval tracks. Shane Van Gisbergen didn't come to America to be a road course specialist. He came to be a NASCAR champion, and the numbers say he is exactly on that path. Do you think SVG wins on an oval in 2026? Drop your prediction in the comments.